Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I wanted to talk about what to expect from the Indiana Pacers this free agency. Who are their free agent targets? Who should they go for? And I have a few ideas right here. I think they could really benefit from getting these guys. So before we start today's video, I want to hear what do you guys think of my free agent targets for the Indiana Pacers. I do believe they're going to get guys who can help them compete right now because Rick Carlisle said they might even trade the pick because if they don't believe they have the opportunity to draft someone who can help them win right now, then they won't do it. And we already saw them try to trade Malcolm Brogdon for Ben Simmons. So moving forward, if they keep the team how we see it right now, which if you guys don't know, Doug McDermott and TJ McConnell are their two free agents that are leaving with Jakur Sampson as the other one. You know, Cassius Stanley and Brimma probably are the two-way guys who are going to probably come back. So I believe Sampson is going to walk. Same thing with McConnell and Doug McDermott. I don't think anyone's going to be brought back. Now, yes, they're already at 120 million, and when I look at this roster, we could see a guy maybe Jeremy Lamb or T.J. Warren as the two guys who are on the bench that could be moved. Warren coming off injury and Jeremy Lamb not worth $10.5 million. And we could also see them trade one of the Brogdon, Sabonis, or Turner for somebody in a package. But I'm going to go with that they stick with this team, and if they do trade anybody, it's going to be either Warren or Lamb. And if they do that, I think getting a guy like Derrick Rose and another guy maybe along the lines of a Bryn Forbes would help, especially if they trade Jeremy Lamb. Replace Jeremy Lamb with Bryn Forbes' shooting ability would be awesome for this team, okay? And he would give them, Jeremy Lamb's often injured, but they would get much needed secondary scoring and perimeter offense. And I think who would be awesome. Another guy would be Alec Burks, but he probably is out of their price range. So I think that's why Bryn Forbes could be in their price range. Yeah, he might not give you the best. He's not like a defensive liability, but he isn't the world's best defender. But he'll replace Lamb and shooting ability and scoring ability for half the cost. And if you bring a guy like Derrick Rose to replace T.J. McConnell, you have a scorer. That's why also you can get rid of T.J. Warren, especially if you bring in a guy like Derrick Rose, because he can be the sixth man for this team. And he's just a leader off the bench with Bryn Forbes, Justin and Aaron Holiday there, and then Goga as the center. You got a lot of talent there that I think for a team, people probably would be so surprised with the shooting ability and the perimeter D, because I expect Rick Carlisle to. I think he's going to do something completely different than what we've seen in Dallas. And I think we're going to see a team that is a lot more focused on being a very good defensive team. And, what I want to say is, I believe this team will be where they're going to use Domantas Sabonis, sort of like Dirk Nowitzki in 2011, Miles Turner as a stretch rim protecting guy. Like when he's in the inside, he's going to play that Tyson Chandler role, but on offense, he's going to be stretching the floor, sort of how we saw Kristaps do. And then at small forward, right now you could argue that their starting small forward could be, T.J. Warren or Karis LeVert has the size. Like Malcolm Brogdon's the point guard. You could put T.J. Warren at small forward and Karis LeVert at shooting guard. Then your bench, it right now is Jeremy Lamb, Justin Holiday, and Aaron Holiday. And then you kind of have a hole at power forward unless you believe O'Shea Brissett could play that hole, and Goga at center. So you really want to get guys like Dwayne Dedmon, JaVale McGee, or Bismack Biyombo, or Gorgie Dang to be a backup center right there, unless you really believe Goga can be that guy. Then you probably want some wing depth in a guy like James Ennis, Torrey Craig, or guys that could be Kent Bazemore, Trevor Ariza, are all guys that they probably want to get to shore that up, defensively. Even Justin Winslow, who's a guy who has quick feet and is a good defender, but isn't a good shooter, 18% this past year. So he's a guy that you could look at. Glenn Robinson is a great 3-and-D swingman who's an efficient shooter of the basketball that could bring in Timothy Luwalu Cabarrot. There's a bunch of guys they could bring in if they keep this roster, but I think if they change things up, Derrick Rose and Bryn Forbes are two guys that they should look at. I think that's obviously could be one of the best things for them. I want to hear, what do you guys think the Indiana Pacers are going to do, especially with with Rick Carlisle as the new head coach. I I will admit I don't watch enough Indiana Pacer basketball in the past year to make it a correct assumption, but I love Domantas Sabonis and his passing ability, his stretch floor. I think he's one of the most underrated big men in the league, and he's a guy that they would benefit from if they can have Rick Carlisle maximize his potential. And same thing with Miles Turner. That is one front court that has so much potential that I really do believe that isn't getting the most out of it. And I think if anybody's going to be able to do this, hopefully Rick Carlisle can do it, as we've seen what he did with Dirk. And hopefully he's not just living off of his past success, because I know that's a lot of things people are, believe that he's been doing is just living off of his past success. And I know that's a common thing to do, but I do believe that we could see a team maybe eerily similar to that 2011 championship team. I know that's just a very basic thing to say, but it's something that we could see and they could benefit. Again, guys, I want to hear those thoughts down below. What do you guys think the Indiana Pacers should do? How would they benefit? And yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting offseason due to the fact that Rick Carlisle right here has a lot, they're kind of locked into this roster. I mean, not 100% locked in, but, is it the ideal scenario? I don't know. We don't even know what the ideal scenario for this team would be, and hopefully this is a coaching change that will just stay and they won't be not continuing this loop. They've had 3 coaches in 3 years now. Okay, hopefully this is just done and we're just cool. You know what I mean? Rick Carlisle can set up a foundation for this team to be the contenders that they should be. This team is so good, okay, and they're not contenders. They should be contenders. They have the players, okay, and they need to take that next step so that they have players in their prime. This is a team that should be trying to be in the Eastern Conference Finals with the amount of money that they have spent on players that are on long-term contracts. They should be trying to make it to the finals. And that's why if they do change things, Derrick Rose and Bryn Forbes are 2 guys that will help push them and be this finals team. So again, guys, I want to hear those thoughts down below. What do you guys think of my takes? And yeah, let me hear what you guys would do. But yeah, that's basically it from me today. Let me hear those comments, thoughts, everything down below in the comment section. And I 95% of the time do respond to it. So if you do comment, I will be responding. So peace out, guys. I hope you enjoyed.